Welcome back to the home of Premier League predictions on YouTube. Yes, it's time to predict the scores for game week 26 of this 2024-2025 Premier League season. Recording on Tuesday evening, there's one match still to be played. That's on Wednesday between Aston Villa and Liverpool. And I've just got a couple of shout outs to Junior Chong and Matthew Medley 8532, who both predicted in the comment section Brighton to beat Chelsea. But we kick things off on Friday evening at the King Power Stadium, where Leicester City take on Brentford.
Yeah, the Project Reset protests at Leicester have already started, haven't they? Looking quite tasty last week. They're not in a good position at the moment. Patchy form. Losing again last time around as well against Arsenal, getting bashed 2-0. Brentford in inconsistent form. However, they did beat West Ham just about the last time around. That's a good result as well away from home. I think the momentum's a little bit with Brentford and a slightly better form, even though they are inconsistent. So yeah, let's just go 2-1 for the time being.
Leicester in diabolical form, losing 9 of their last 10 matches in the Premier League. There's only one winner in this one. Brentford in decent enough form, currently in 10th position, as you say, Nathan. A victory against London neighbours West Ham last time out. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 away victory to the Bees in this one. And in that match against West Ham, Wissa had 2 goals disallowed. Moving on to the next fixture, Saturday lunchtime. We've got Everton coming up against Manchester United. Manchester United now 25 games played in the season of Premier League, Nathan, and they find themselves, the Red Devils, in 15th position. Unheard of for the last, how many years, don't know, last couple of decades. Anyway, Everton, resurgence now under David Moyes. An excellent 2-1 away victory against Crystal Palace in game around 24. That's 4 wins in the league out of their last 5 Premier League fixtures. Ahmad for Manchester United is out of this one.
Massive loss. Man
United really toothless in front of goal at the moment. Everton's defence is pretty decent, so I'm going to go for low scoring win to Everton. I can see them coming through this one 1-0.
Interesting, yeah. For me, this just screams of an Everton win, doesn't it? Moyes' momentum is going to push them through. Still solid at the back like they were under Dyche. Moyes has brought in that attacking premise that they had back in the day as well, in the pre-2013 days, the noughties days, the good days at Everton, where they were just making Europe, getting into Champions League and just playing brilliantly under Moyes. And Man United, if it was any other Premier League season, they'd be in a relegation battle. And it helps them out a lot, doesn't it, that Ipswich, Leicester and Southampton have been so pathetic this season. They are only 12 points off the drop, but any other season, they would be right in the mix, wouldn't they? So yeah, 2-0 to Everton. Moving on to the 3 o'clocks, Arsenal against West Ham. Arsenal flowing with injuries, Saka out injured, Havertz out for the season as well.
Martinelli.
Nwaneri coming in nicely. Martinelli's out, of course. Yeah, loads of problems there at the Emirates, isn't there? West Ham obviously losing to Brentford. Not really much of a manager bounce happening there, but they need to hibernate till the end of the season and then really rebuild in the summer under Potter. But Arsenal at home, can't not back them, can I? 2-0.
2-0. Yeah, I'm going to go exactly the same as you, Nathan. I'm going to go for a solid 2-0 victory to the Gunners in this one. They're unbeaten in the league at home this season as well. West Ham, as you say, no managerial bounce to write home of, or any sort of bounce really, more of a damp thud, isn't it? So a 2-0 victory to the Gunners. Next up, we got Bournemouth coming up against Wolves, the second of the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Wolves now losing 5 of their last 6 matches in the Premier League. Bournemouth currently in 5th position in the Premier League, having the time of their lives, aren't they? They're living life at the top end of the table. However, if Wolves can kind of exploit Bournemouth's weakness at set pieces, getting in the air as well, then maybe they can do a little bit of damage on the south coast. However, the cherry's full of confidence. I can see only really one winner here, and I'm going to go for a Bournemouth 3, Wolves 1.
Have you been copying more predictions or something? I've gone exactly the same. I mean, Bournemouth, 5th position, that's a Champions League spot next season. Just ridiculous. Wolves, patchy form, but they're not doing as badly as the bottom three at the moment, but they have to get points from somewhere if they really want to pull away. Yeah, this is not the game to do it, and Bournemouth are taking all three in this one. Moving on, Fulham in 8th position, obviously chasing down Newcastle and Chelsea for some European spots. Don't think they'll get there, up against the slightly inconsistent Crystal Palace, who obviously lost to Everton last time around, but everyone's losing to Everton at the moment. Tricky where to go with this one, especially with Palace's form. You can't really make a full judgment if they're inconsistent or not at the moment, but I am going to give the benefit of the doubt to Fulham, who've been decent at home as well. Going to go 2-1.
2-1. I think you'd be copying me, Nathan, because I'm going to go 2-1 as well.
Again, yes.
You know that Crystal Palace is a real tough cookie to crack. Another all-London affair, this one. But Fulham in their last 2 matches, they've beaten Newcastle and Nottingham Forest. That's 2 very, very good wins. Emil Smith-Rowe on the score sheet against Forest in game week 25. In this one, I think Palace will give them another tough game, but I think Fulham will take all 3 points in a 2-1 win. Next up, we got Ipswich coming up against Spurs. Now, Spurs have been iffy, but a very
sides, really.
a very good win against Manchester United. Ipswich, an excellent draw, you could say, against Aston Villa, but prior to that it was 4 defeats on the trot. They're really going to have to battle to get out of the relegation zone, but I've got a feeling that Spurs will record back-to-back wins, and I'm going to go for a very, very narrow 1-0 away victory.
Yeah, I nearly went for a Spurs win in this one, make it 3 on the bounce for them, but I think Ipswich, getting the draw last time around against Villa, it's going to knock some confidence into them, and miss the fact that it's at Portman Road as well, a massive game where Tottenham missed a big banana skin for them. I think they'll be up for it and get another point, so 1-1. Moving on, Southampton coming up against Brighton. Now Brighton absolutely demolishing Chelsea 3-0. That Matoma touch for that curler into the bottom right hand corner, absolutely stunning. Southampton absolutely terrible, battered 3-1 in the South Coast derby against Bournemouth. Obviously picked up points against Ipswich, but prior to then have been shocking, haven't they? How many is it going to be to Brighton? Let's go 4-0.
4-0. I don't think it's going to be as many of that. I do expect a Seagulls away win in this one. Southampton losing 7 of their last 8 matches in the Premier League. A foregone conclusion, you could say. Both of these teams on the South Coast. Not really a derby, is it, as such, but a 2-0 away victory to the Seagulls. We then move on to the tea time 5:30 kick-off live on Sky this one. Aston Villa against Chelsea. Chelsea looked all out of sorts against Brighton last time out. Run ragged, you could say, against the Seagulls. Aston Villa stuttering a little bit. 3 draws in their last 4 matches in the Premier League. In fact, they haven't won in the last 4 in the Premier League. A few injuries there. Ollie Watkins coming back on the weekend, and they've still got Liverpool to play as well. But I think Villa at home against Chelsea, Villa Park, I think they're going to come through this one 2-1.
Interesting, yeah, it's a tricky one. Both teams in inconsistent form. Villa no wins in 4. Chelsea up and down, only 2 wins in the last 5 or 6. Inconsistent, leaking goals. Villa need the points more for me, especially if they want to be back in Europe next season. I know they'll struggle around Champions League time as they always do, but yeah, 2-1 to the Villains, I reckon.
Same as me.
Moving on, Sunday, Newcastle up against Nottingham Forest. Massive clash at the top of the table. Newcastle, 2 losses on the bounce, looking patchy, leaking goals. 4-0 to Man City, 2-1 to Fulham. Whereas Forest losing as well in their own right against Fulham as well, who've really taken some points off some top teams at home this season. But prior to that have been decent, so I just don't know what to make of them, to be honest. In the North East, it's a cancel-out job, 1-1. 2-2, sorry.
Desmond's really dear. I've gone for a draw as well. I've gone for 1-1. Joe Linton will be missing by the looks of it for Newcastle in this match. It depends if somebody is going to take all the points. It depends who turns up, the Magpies or Forest. Both of these sides recently losing to Fulham, as we've already said. Yeah, I'm going to sit on the fence. This is my only draw of the weekend as well. 1-1, and the final fixture of this game week sees Manchester City taking on Liverpool. Liverpool, it looks like their fixtures are just piling and piling up. A Man City in an absolutely gigantic match in Spain against Real Madrid on Wednesday evening. It's on Sunday, Sky. You know what? It's going to be close, But Man City, according to my figures here, my research, last time they lost to Liverpool in the league at home at the Etihad, not in Cups mind, just in the Premier League, was 2015. So it could end up in a draw, but I'm going to go for a win. I'm going to go for Man City 2, Liverpool 1, make it a little bit more interesting at the top of the table.
Interesting. As much as I want to say that, I don't know why. I think it's going to be a cancel-out job, to be honest. Lots of goals. You've got that stat, obviously. Liverpool are going to come into it with full power. I know Mamouche scored a hat-trick last time around, but Man City haven't been as good as they have been in the last couple of seasons. It was a draw at Anfield as well. Yeah, let's go Desmond's 2-2.
2-2. So that concludes our predictions for game week 26. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website or as a comment below. Nathan, we can't make it to Plymouth this weekend, so I think there'll be a few vlogs out next week. 3 matches in 7 days for us.
3 matches in 7 days, and we're going to all of them, so it's up on my channel, link in the description below.
Brilliant. Thanks for joining us once again. Enjoy the Premier League action over the weekend, and we'll see you all in the next video.
Hey, I got something to say. I'm just so sick of hearing everyone complain. I know it's tough and I know there's pain, but hitting bottom is the only way to change. So I'll keep hustling, you keep struggling. Bitch, I'm humbling, keep mumbling.